10 points the difference. Vigorous fight back by Port just before half-time. Blake goes up, wins it down to Selwood. Ling juggled it, goes out wide. Wojcinski being tracked by Gray. Gray slipped over. Wojcinski socketed away from himself, and the ball goes out of bounds. So a bit of luck there for Port Adelaide. Boundary throw in. Just the attacking side of left centre wing for the Power.
So Blake has done pretty well, and Brogan. Cassisi trying to bash and crash. He's been good in close, Cassisi. That's his style. Blake got it from Ling. It was good handball in the end. Then Kelly, Wojcinski. I think it was meant for Ablett. Kelly cuts it off, and then off one step, a long kick to half forward. Chaplin was at the back. Podsiadly. Salopek did very well. Cracker's handball, neat. Corns has been an important link man. That kick careful. Treadray got a awkward bounce, and Taylor played it well.
That was a really good free kick because they were away there, and Treadray realised it. So he said, "Oh, just hang on here. It's gone anyway," and make the play slow right down.
Hunt goes down towards half forward. Podsiadly missed it. Marked behind by Chaplin to Carlisle. Now Salopek decides to run it up to the wing and kick to half forward. Harry Taylor has to stretch, almost the one-hander. Grabbed by Stewart. Got it off to Lonigan. Steps around Hitchcock a tad too easily, and the ball comes off the hands of Selwood and goes out of bounds.
So what Port Adelaide have been able to do in the last part of the second term is just squeeze Geelong. They haven't been able to get that free-flowing play, and they've been very conscious of the handball at the back. They haven't allowed it. Didn't
work too well for Brogan. Did the hard stuff and put the ball into the path of Kelly. Beautiful spearing pass. Hawkins back to Kelly. Bit of a fumble. Was that in the back? Brilliantly played by Chad Corns. Umpire says play on. Hitchcock's away. He was pushed as he kicked. That could have been the back as well. It affected the kick, and as a result, the bounce favoured Taylor. Goes to Mackie. Mackie alongside the centre circles. Beautiful kick. Wonderful hands. Johnson takes the mark right on the 50.
49. Geez, it was a wonderful chase down on Hitchcock. They were away, and all he had to do was get the ball out in front, and another turnover, and as a result, Geelong having a shot.
Well, maybe not. Well, they'll get one here. Bartel. Hawkins. Well, tackle coming on from Cassisi. Ablett, a good man to have it here.
And that's the difference between most players and Gary Ablett. That when he cops a bump or cops any pressure, he's able to absorb it. Here's the free kick that was probably thought to be there by the crowd, but on reflection probably wasn't. You'll see here with Ablett, he's being pushed and he's being hit pretty hard as he kicks it. Still got the balance to be able to get it through.
So the margin back to 16 points as we welcome back Matthew Richardson. Matty?
Yeah, Dennis, been watching the Geelong midfield today, and if you have a look at them, they're probably not a quick midfield. But what they do is they always move the ball on quickly. They don't run and carry it as much. They just get the ball moving by foot or hand.
As we saw there by Selwood, down to half forward. Johnson, uncharacteristically, left it behind. Surgeon's hand pass directly to Ling. Burns into the path of Ablett. Ablett back on the right boot. He had men onto the opposite pocket. He wasn't to know that. Doesn't matter. Chapman with strength. Marks and goes.
Strength again. Strength in the contest. Cassisi's played pretty good on Ablett this afternoon, but he's just had a role in kicking the last two goals. Selwood, who's been quiet also, getting the ball on the boot. And as Richo said, quick movement by foot and by hand, not necessarily by leg speed, but with the ball, they move it as quick as any side. And you can't stop this. Paul Chapman in a one-on-one contest will very rarely be beaten. Too strong.
Vintage stuff by the Cats to start this third quarter. So big job for Cassisi. He's done well on Ablett so far, but now Ablett with a couple of goals, an assist and a fair bit of the footy. Gray couldn't quite hold it up, and now Ling. So the alarm bells ring again for Port, but they've heard them earlier today and come back. Burns pushing forward. Chaplin had a very good second quarter. Corns has been important late in that second quarter and early here. That's not a good kick. And Ablett, a rare mistake for him, gets back, brilliantly trapped, and it was a clever handball to Ling's right side for him. Back it comes from Duncan. Ablett in close quarters, back to his captain, and that one is close and touched, I think, over the line.
Gee, that worked out well in a really tight space. They weren't about to take it over.
What about the little dummy from the boy Duncan?
He's clever, Dan.
Yeah. Little shimmy here, just sends the man the wrong way, and then across to Shepherd. That was terrific for the youngster.
Shake at the hips.
Yeah, we like that. Down goes Corey, pushed in the back, he'll get the free kick. Dangerous situation. Just outside the 50. And plenty of space in front of anyone who wants to lead. Johnson leads. Mooney comes now. And Port just really, look at them. There's about 7 blokes around the guy who kicked it.
Saying, how does that happen?
Well, it happens because you don't get back.
Because you've got to move. You can't just stand there like a statue.
Now you hear the whistle and have to realise there's space ahead of 3 leading players. Mooney. Geelong rolling now.
Just have a look at the space that they're moving into. Port Adelaide, as you said, didn't get back. They're happy to stand to the 50-metre line, but that's not where the ball is about to go.
And that's want to, isn't it, really? Nothing else. You just want to do it. And if you don't want to do it, I'll kick a goal.
Goal. 14 marks to 2 inside the 50 for Geelong today. Port has been conceding just 7 in the 3 matches, an average of 7. So the Cats, that's a telling stat, getting so much ball. And Brogan actually ends up tapping it to Selwood. And there's another mark inside 50. Well, Ablett's exploded here, just like his team. In fact, the team perhaps ignited off Ablett earlier. Selwood getting some touches too, so it's all happening.
You can't keep good players down for the whole 4 quarters, and if you do, you know, when getting Brownlow votes yourself. Kasisi, he's done a really good job on the first half, but he has just come out at half-time and said, I'm going to turn this game back in our favour.
Speaking of Brownlow votes, Ablett's had 5 Brownlow votes in the last 2 matches he's played against Port Adelaide. Just misses that. So he's been best on the ground and second best on the ground in the eyes of the umpires. The last couple of times Geelong's played Port. So Port, well, are they hanging on? It doesn't look like at the moment. They've lost their grip on this match in terms of the competitiveness on the board. They need to get something happening.
Less than 5 minutes in playing time. Ablett 6 possessions.
Well done, Brad Alton's there to keep Brogan out of the contest.
Chapman looking for Mooney. Needed some courage. Mooney kept coming, took the mark. Just outside the 50, little chip Bartel.
I didn't like that by Davenport.
No.
He looked for Mooney. He knew that he was going to be hit in the air or he was going to have a collision. He just had to go for the ball and not worry about the opponent.
That's where too much knowledge is a dangerous thing. You've seen him at close quarters too often on the training track and in games.
You see the ball coming here and he just takes his eye off it and Mooney has a free jump at it.
Jimmy Bartel, not a big goal scorer, aiming at his 100th career goal. But he's a centurion now. Well done, Jimmy.
And he kicked that 65 metres then. It's a beautiful kick. Kick through the footy. That all started though. You'll see it here. Look at Brad Otten's just stopping Brogan, getting towards Chapman. Chapman settles it up. He looks inside straight away. And right there, Geelong are going to score because one player doesn't commit his body.
So 4 unanswered goals for the Cats. Bartel gets on the board. 6 different goal scorers. The other 5 are all multiple goal scorers today. So Port being battered here. Pearce trying to win it. Bartel did very well. Corey, good effort, Pearce, and then had his jumper held on to. Kelly's been important in the clearances. That was terrific to Waltons, to Bartel. A bit of vintage Geelong here. Into Hawkins. wanted to give off. He's got Corey on his own, decides to go longer. It's a good kick, gives Mooney a chance. Chaplin courageously, Adelaide, and still Adelaide. He rides brilliantly, getting rid of Cassisi, and then Duncan kicks a beauty.
Oh, he's a ripper, Mitch Duncan. The bloke, he got it off just in front of him at the moment, but Mitch Duncan, geez, a good finisher. Clever, but it was there. Kelly's hard ball, Ottens to find the space. Thought Hawkins took the wrong option, but you'll see it here. He's being tackled by Cassisi, who's a very good tackler. Brushes that off. That's a wonderful finish from a young fella. He's impressive, Den.
I said when he started playing for them, Dennis, in round one, it's like playing with the Beatles at their best coming into the Geelong team as a kid, and he's part of the band, I reckon, don't you?
Yep, must be pinching himself. What a dream.
Yeah, they've just kicked away here.
That was magnificent. His 7th possession of the term. A very young term, we've got to say, and suddenly he was cast in the role of a cat burglar. He just got away from the tackler and set up the goal, but as you said, Ox, the finishing of Duncan, quite outstanding. I sung the praises of Tony McHale before at East Perth. He's a player who teaches skill. As the ball goes inside the 50, coming up is Stewart. Takes it close to the boundary line. Stolen away brilliantly, Wojcinski. Look at him go. Wojcinski with the appetite to Selwood. Wojcinski is down hurt. Bartel clean bowled. Taken by Logan. Roden in trouble. Brilliantly done, Selwood again to Bartel. Goal coming up. They're running in all directions. Johnson. They talk about trying to herd cats. It's impossible. Hawkins gets the goal. Johnson just making it so.
I like that. I reckon Stevie Johnson realises that if he's going to play good football, he needs Tommy Hawkins there, the big body to take the big boys, to be able to bring the ball down, and he can feed off him. So just give him one. It might be soft, but he'll remember it. Payback. I like it.
Dave Wojcinski's just headed into the change rooms, got a little knock in the head, probably just a blood rule. That's 6 goals in 7 minutes to the Cats, and that's what happens when you play these guys. You think you're in the game. 5 minutes later, you're all of a sudden you're 6 goals down. It's demoralising.
And they call the third term the Premiership quarter. Well, the Premiership team is playing some great footy here. Let's see what Port can offer from this point on. So Wojcinski down to the rooms. He's been terrific, Wojcinski. He's played on Hitchcock today, and
head clash.
Kane Corn's hard there. So Port with double the score now after they got within 10 points. Roden been good in the clearances. Thomas tries to deliver wide. Stewart goes to ground, and Lonergan runs it over.
That's probably one of the only things with Stewart, just on his couple of the contests that he's gone for, falling over regularly. Needs to keep his feet.
Well, they've got a couple of young... I mean, Hitchcock's really been given a lesson today that hopefully he's going to learn a lot from. He's a kid.
Small.
Yep. Here he is. Good hands to Thomas, to Gray. He's holding the footy. Too high.
They've taken it up a couple of notches here, the Cats.
They're bullying them now, aren't they?
Yep.
Their bigger bodies and their strength. They're really bullying Port here.
Hunt to centre half back, Enright. Mackie. Here's Taylor. Well, that is a very ambitious kick. One man surrounded by 3. Chad Corns put down, but not before he got the hand pass across to Treadway. In trouble there was Boak. He was slung. Still down as Corns. Meantime, Ring gave it forward. Hawkins, Burns, and now Joel Corey. Another goal coming up. Podsy Ardley this time.
Chad Corns still down. It's a heavy knot. We'll have a look at it.
And the ball had been gone for a step or two.
I don't know if that's a good one for Melbourne.
Certainly wasn't a good one for Corns.
Well, the ball's gone. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's right.
It's behind play.
You can see Corns was just easing up. He didn't expect that. The call will be, should he have been expecting that?
Two corns or two head corns collisions.
Seeing a lot of that, aren't we? Head-to-head stuff. A lot of hamstrings as well. Hamstrings popping left, right, and centre.
Yeah, I don't think Darren Milburn wants to see that again.
So Corns, who's had a pretty good afternoon, really.
His nose is broken too. You can see right on the bridge. There's a bit of a lump.
Well, I'll tell him who my plastic surgeon was so we can avoid him. And very sporting of the crowd.
His nose is all over his face and they can't give him a little bit of latitude.
Isn't the premiership enough?
His brother's on the boundary line with all tape.
Podsy Ardley, meantime, made his debut last week, 2 goals. And that debut made 213 days after his 28th birthday. Steps to the 50. And this one is pulled to the right. He misses a behind, but they're careering away. 93-45. Not so much the margin as the way they're doing it, Bruce.
One-way traffic.
So this is when Geelong are on. They squeeze you down. They don't let you exit that defensive 50 all that easily.
So Salopek off a step. Good mark. Brogan. And the short kick to Ebert. But Ebert, one of their key forwards in the back half. And that's not a good kick. In right over the top of Hitchcock. Down to you, Richo.
Yeah, Chad Corns came off there and he's definitely got a broken nose. It's spread right across his face and the Geelong fans were booing him. Just a little bit harsh, I would have thought, Bruce.
Got the big S-curve on his nose, Bruce.
I reckon that's a compliment to Corns, though. I mean, they rate him, I reckon, when they boo him. Hitchcock's kick inside 50 and Taylor's been doing it all day. Contested marks. He was averaging 2.5 contested marks a match coming in today. He's improved on that. Chapman.
He's at left half back. Chapman trying to go over Chaplin. And this ball bounces out of bounds. Chaplin showed courage to come back.
Harry Taylor, Dennis, 4 contested marks. Port Adelaide
didn't like
5
it either.
Contested marks, the team.
Didn't like
That's an amazing stat.
Didn't like it from Stewart. Just slap across the chops.
His aerial work has been terrific today. It started early. Here's Boak. Got it from Corns. That's Kane Corns, and he proceeds to kick it out of bounds. Harry Taylor from half-back. A little chip to Lonergan, cruising past Joel Corey. 20 metres out from his own goal. Milburn is on. Milburn, nobody near him. Now he needs to be careful, does Cracker, as Burns takes off. He bypasses Burns at least initially. Podsy Ardley works in front. Cracker did well. Got back to Crummett. Breaks away from half-back. Nice kick too to midfield. Davenport should have marked it. Confronted by Enright. Taken by Cassisi. Oh, nasty bounce there for Kane Corns. Cassisi went looking for Boak. Taken down by Bartel. The numbers all Geelong. Kelly gave it back to Joel Corey. Bounces one to Chapman to Bartel. Now they're through. Johnson is on. He'll be force-fed. Oh, well done. Carlisle came back. It was headed for the chest of Johnson. Johnson and Carlisle go after the ball. Lying on the ground, Carlisle kicked it out. Duncan's got it now. Oh. The idea was right. He's a thinking forward.
He does. He's might be young Stevie J in the learning. Good work there by Carlisle to get back because Johnson was free. They had that many options there. I felt sorry for the kicker because he had 4 to choose from.
Needed to be a bit wide, a bit deeper the kick, didn't it?
So how will Cracker select here? He's decided to go long. Port with a number or 2 there. Brogan. Roden couldn't quite. Now Johnson. Run down by Roden. Back to Johnson. Tackle from the front by Gray. Just a response I think the fans and Bomber Thompson would have wanted at half-time. They had their colours lowered in the latter part of the first half. Geelong went in at half-time, not with their tails between their legs, but I think a bit embarrassed with their last 15 minutes.
I think Bomber Thompson would have highlighted that too. he would have said the last 5 minutes, that's not Geelong. We work harder than that. We get numbers to the contest and we run the quarters out.
So Port hasn't scored in this quarter, and Geelong's kicked 6 goals 3.
Casey, Gray just got away. Runs up to centre half back. Goes with the outside of the boot. Well, Mackie.
You cannot go to one-on-one with Hitchcock. He's just not big enough.
No. To Joel Corey. Not his fault. He can't be any bigger. The ball goes inside the forward 50, getting a hand to it. Adelaide. He was upended. That hurt. And clearly, he's their best leading option amongst the big guys.
He goes to the right spots.
Yeah.
See here, Ebert's got his eyes off the footy. And that's a free kick.
All day.
The pod. Distance won't be a concern. Missed the last one to the right.
Yeah.
The good forwards learn from that then.
So you're going to judge him on one kick, are you?
Well, watched him play a lot of footy.
No, he'll get this one. He'll kick from right on the 50. Left goal post. Work it back. In he comes. See, the good players learn.
Yes.
Absolutely right, Ox.
He's got the tripod. He's got 3. And he's a beautiful mover. He actually knows where to go. But Geelong are just in autopilot at the moment. Port Adelaide haven't been able to get their hands on the footy. 78-38 possessions Geelong in this term. 11-1, 12-2 inside 50s, just total dominance.
Just been having a good look at Pods today. He's definitely a cult figure down here, and you just got to ask yourself the question, why wasn't he picked up earlier? He moves well, he marks well, he kicks the ball well. He's been playing great VFL footy for years. Just don't know what the problem was there.
The other question is, how many other Pods are there out there?
Oh, there's plenty.
But a goal in each of the quarters so far, so he's got 3 in his first game at School Stadium for the Cats at this level. Blake still hasn't kicked it, Blake, I don't think.
Advantage, play on.
Heard the umpire. And that one out on the full. So Port stalled completely. They've still got the keys to the car, but they haven't been able to start it after half-time. It's been a bit depressing, I reckon, for them, but gee, it's been great football by the Cats.
This is the sort of footy they played last week in the first half against Brisbane. They were totally outplayed and out-dominated and really found it hard to get their hands on the footy with consecutive possessions.
So Brogan to Westhoff.
50.
There was an echo. Well, the one thing you want from a team like Port right now is for them not to run out of ideas, at least to try things, to play with a bit of dare and not be completely caught in the bright lights of the Geelong.
You're not in the marking contest.
I want to see Westhoff up the ground more.
There's no warning because you're not in the marking contest and you run 3 metres over it. That's your mark now.
So he should kick the goal here, Westhoff. Been given the gift of a long 50-metre penalty. And he's got it. So Port get there first after half-time.
They needed it, and probably an understatement too. They haven't been able to get it inside 50 whatsoever. And we've got another blood rule here with probably Kane Corn's blood seeping through that bandage of his. Yeah, that's a 50-metre penalty. Just crept over. The umpire hadn't called play on. Want to see them restructure up to Port Adelaide. If you're not winning the ball out of the midfield and you're finding it hard to get out of half back, you've got to change things up to get a bit of run. And I think Westhoff gives you that bit of run. He's got a huge engine, and I think he's just being wasted sitting in the forward 50 without getting a touch.
100 plays 51. Family not in good shape. Ablett feeds it back, driven forward by Kelly. Hawkins, that's a good mark. Well done. To Ling, sends him away on his left side. Mooney takes the mark.
See, when they get it in quick, yeah, Dennis, they're hard to stop.
35 metres out. Interesting watching Pozziali lead too. He doesn't sort of jammed things up. He kept coming on a lead, realising he wasn't going to get the ball. It's not just about him. And created some space in behind for this man, Mooney. He likes this sort of distance, Cam Mooney, but just tugs it left to behind. Richo?
Must be great leading out in the Geelong forward line, because when they take a mark 50, 60 metres out, they don't go back and kick it. They try and get a runner with a handball receive. It's a lot easier to read as a forward where the ball's going to go.
So creative, aren't they? So, Surgeon to Pearce. A good first half, Pearce, so that's not good. Thomas and Surgeon. Now Pearce is their big runner and carrier of the ball. Crackers kick to Westhoff, and then Westhoff wide. This is better to Ebert. Now it's an open forward line, and Ebert decides to load up. Davenport's the target. Taylor, well, the kick was to Taylor's advantage in the end.
Well, they had Davenport and Hitchcock down there. They're up against Taylor and really big body. They can't get through that.
So Mackie to Kelly, and Kelly's kick to Chaplin in the end. Well, it was for Chapman, and Chapman got up early and he hung and took a nice mark.
Good grab, goes across the ground. Pearce has it. Defensive side of the wing. Short to Brogan inside the centre square. Just running out of ideas. Back to Pearce.
All numbers back too.
Short one is on to Logan. Now he can run. He'll kick from about 60. Well, he didn't run too far. He sends a high ball inside the forward 50. Enright did well. Angled approach of the pack, got a fist on it. Bartell got it from Milburn. Kept his head, goes back to the corridor. And Burns takes the mark. 5 minutes out from three-quarter time. Kelly made to earn it by Thomas. And now 50.
Don't know about that one. I don't know about that one.
Run here!
It's a good mark there by Chaplin.
2 more!
Here is the 50. Maybe.
He sort of more grabbed him than competed,
Yeah.
didn't he? This is Chapman who
Great
goes
catch.
inside the forward 50. Foxy Yardley has marked 5 metres out and will line up for his fourth. We're talking about football. There's not Dolphins or Wales here, but asking the question about just how many pods are there out there. And there's a guy playing for West Perth, their captain, runner-up in the Sandover medal last year, a fellow by the name of Jason Salisic, who would look absolutely at home in the AFL. He'd be a star. Pods, meantime, is starring this afternoon as he pops it through.
You get to meet him too, Dennis. He's like a kid in a candy store at the moment with the opportunity to play AFL football. Been a long dream of his and many other hopefuls playing at lower levels. To be given the chance, you just can see the excitement on his face and his attitude towards football. He knows it's not going to be there for a long time, but he gets his chance and he's taken it.
Well, 28, he might not be there for a long time, but I tell you what, he's going to be there for a good time.
I think it's bad news for Tommy Hawkins too, just quietly.
So 107 to 51. Pods Yardley, 4 goals to go with a couple he kicked last week.
Plenty of room for them all, Den.
Fine, guys.
You are an optimist.
Thank you. Thanks, bro.
You just want to ride these big forwards off.
All right, we'll see.
So Otten's winning the tap.
Fair, Barn.
And Duncan so impressive. A lovely handball. Burns 50 metres out. Didn't really get it.
It's a good call, Bruce, because it came off his shin, I reckon.
Yep.
Still went 50.
But they can shin anything at the moment. I think Porter saying something similar to shin at the moment, but 108 to 51.
So boundary throw in the attacking side of right centre wing, counting down to three-quarter time. That wasn't the sweet spot.
No.
108.51. What a turnaround. It was 10 points at half-time. Otten's the big fly. Selwood works his way free, was taken high. Hand pass comes from Joel Corey. Kelly along the boundary line. Duncan about 5 metres in from that boundary. Ablett, well, Mr. Sitter falls in front. Chapman taken high. Ablett can't believe it.
The mark's here. Come back now. Chuck it, don't go.
Gee,
Don't.
he did all the
Chuck it
hard
on
work
the
to
line.
get to the front and square.
Ready, come.
He's having a little laugh.
Back with me. Back with me. Back with me. Back here. Tom, he's going to stand there if you don't come back here.
What does he do here? I think he'll go a banana. He
He's on
does like
quite
going
an angle.
He does like going onto his left, though.
Had a good quarter too, Paul Chapman, coming at his third.
It's a banana.
It's a footy. There goes the kick, and he misses everything. It's a behind.
Here's Ablett's mark. Did all the hard work.
The impressive thing, though, for Ablett, he just reads it so quickly, doesn't he? He just off the mark to get to the fall of the ball, as Chapman had done earlier in the second quarter.
Just gets himself in really good positions early.
It's a good kick by Cracker, but Pozziali did well because Westhoff was sweating. Milburn short. Mooney. Well, has he missed? Chappie.
Too easy.
St Kilda fans were saying, now what did he miss on the left late last year in that grand final, eh?
He only kicks the big ones.
What a player he is. I mean, big stat. He's got the big numbers for possessions and goals. I mean, he's a bloke that can get over 20 disposals a match and get over 30 goals in a season. They're absolutely like diamonds, those blokes. Should be a free kick to Milburn.
Good call, Bruce. He's got it right on the boundary. Just chips it inside the forward 50. Bartel goes back and missed it. Carlisle goes across the ground. Good kick too to Thomas. But nothing much happening on that side of the ground. He pulls it back towards the middle. Well played by Gray. Over the head, Corns back on the ground. Feeds it back to Pearce. Surgeon hacks his way through. Kicks into the oncoming player Duncan. It ricochets down towards half forward. Gray. Salopek and Gray working a little 1-2, but it came unglued. Duncan to the outer side. Chaplin goes back and takes the mark. Drives it towards the outer side. Logan is there, missed it. Arriving quickly is Enright, close to the boundary line. Into the path of Duncan. Duncan running down towards half forward to Mooney. Helps it on its way into the path of Chapman. Chapman kicks it long towards full forward. Oh, Bartel. Bartel to Ablett. 5 metres out, kicks the goal.
He's still one of the best midfield marks in the business, Jimmy Bartel. So strong in the contest. Mitch Duncan has been super impressive here this afternoon. He makes good decisions. They're running forward, and Chappie been involved in the last 3 or 4 shots a goal. And there it is. That's as easy as you'll kick a goal.
Such a team, aren't they? I mean, they just use each other so well, Geelong.
Well, I don't know how Ablett and Bartel are up against Brogan and Tringove.
And they won the mark.
They get the mark. Don't know how that works.
Ottens and Brogan. Ottens over the top. Cassisi. And he's held on to it for a while.
That's good organisation by Geelong to be able to get that. So obviously the 2 big boys are going back to cover, but you'd think in the air that those 2 would be able to outmark the other 2.
Ottens to Corey to Selwood to Ablett, and then Ablett looks up. The handball not great. Goes to Bartel. Bartel to Burns. Gets around Tringove. Gets around Cassisi, and this is as good as it gets. They are playing magnificently, Geelong.
An unbelievable crowd that every team that comes down here and plays, they know they're going to be in for one hell of an afternoon. So against Port Adelaide, they don't draw many fans in Victoria, Bruce, and this is packed.
Well, it's like watching Farlap against Radish at the moment.
Was it Radish or it was Radish?
Yeah, it was Radish. But, the Cats, they're Farlap. Their win record's similar to Farlap's.
So Port have kicked, what have they added in this term? They were 8-7 at half-time, or rather 8-3 at half, 7-3 at half-time, so 1 solitary goal. Wish I hadn't started that. Here's Ablett inside the centre square, and the mark is taken down there by Hawkins. No, he spilt it. A scramble about 30 metres out from Geelong's goal, ricochets across towards Johnson, and Johnson has kicked their 11th of the quarter. Steve Johnson, their highest score registered under Bomber Thompson since he's been with Geelong in a third term. They've come out and they really have fired up.
No, you just paid money to come and see this bloke. He's an opportunist. Here's Hawkins, probably should have taken the mark. Have a look at this. There are some players that are freaks. There are some players that get lucky. And then there's Steve Johnson. He does that. And that's not luck for him, because he does that. He'll do that a dozen times this year.
Can we settle on a freak who gets lucky?
Yeah.
He's got it all covered.
I've got a stat to die for here, Dennis.
Way you go, Bruce.
You started at 128 to 51. Bartel, cut off Pearce, out wide, Ebert, good contest. Geelong so good here. Little one inside from Hitchcock, or rather from Boak, and gets to Cassisi. And Cassisi wide. Geelong have got the numbers.
Oh.
Stewart went up the ground.
Again.
A good tackle though.
Good work.
On Mackie, and now Burns, who's got busy in this quarter, like everybody else, and then Lonigan, Cracker puts the tackle on Westhoff off the ground. Back to Mackie. Well, Geelong has just kicked 11 goals, 7 in that quarter. That's equal to the best third quarter they've ever played since 1897.